It's like once the body fat gets to a certain point, and your metabolism is functioning good, your body is just like, it does some really cool things. And it's so cool to watch it. It's honestly one of my favorite things.
Yeah. This whole process, I mean, like the year kind of leading into it and then going through like the cut, it's like science in motion, it's because you're seeing what's happening. And like for the last couple of years before working with you, I started to get into macros, but I never had the know-how to work out to be able to truly like eat in a surplus, nor did I trust myself. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to eat more. So I never would have, before we started working together, I was at like 1,800 calories a day and I was lean. Like I didn't have, I had some muscle, but not nearly what I have now.
Yeah, no, I know. It's amazing. And it's not just you, it's like 99.99% of the women I talk to they feel the same way. Like, I'm not going to increase my food. I'm like, well, then don't bitch about not having any muscles, because it's the only way we can make them.
Right.
And everybody, they blame it on age, and they blame it on not being on drugs, and they blame it on hormones. And yeah, like those things play a role, but a lot of it is lack of food, because we can't build if we're not taking in enough.
Right. Knowing what I know now, I never would have worked out to the level that like I needed to. Like I just didn't have the equipment. I didn't know what to do. Right. But it's crazy because it really is that simple. Like, it's not hard. It's not, it might be mentally difficult. You might not want to do it, but it's not a difficult concept.
No. And once you have those pieces in place where, you have taken the time to fuel your body properly to build muscle, that is automatically working to repair any metabolic damage you've done. So once that's functioning in a good place, then you implement the cut, the muscle's there, and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. It was cool to see. And then especially in like the last month where I started to get really lean. Like on stage, I was 128. Okay. That was the last time I weighed, and that was maybe like the day before the second show. In my entire adult, like teenage life, I've never seen the scale that low. I'd always been like in the 140s-ish range. Maybe like high 130s was like my like lowest. I'd never seen it that low. And so that was, again, it's the science of all of it that works. Now I am looking forward though to eating more and putting some of that weight back on, because I think that like we also like romanticize like, let's be as low as possible. 128 was like, I didn't like the way, like I looked good for stage, but in like everyday life, I don't like the way that I look. Like I look too small for me. I'm like, I want to put on like a good 10 pounds. Like that'll be like a good happy, like I still look good, still feel really trim. But like too low, I think, for like my ideal.
You had a question from Facebook. Megan's on there, and she says, how long have you been bodybuilding?
1 year. Started with you last August. I've always like worked out. I've always been pretty fit. Minus the years like having children and like not being fit through that process. But from a kid, I was pretty active, and then like I always liked to go to the gym, but I never like knew how to build muscle. So like bodybuilding like a year, but I think I had a good base to start with.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you came in with some muscle. You were nice and strong. You just needed to challenge your body.
Yeah, and I absolutely fell in love with it. So this is not a one and done for me. We're doing this for a while.
Right. And that's funny, because when you signed up, you're like, I just think I really want to try a show. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, just want to give it a shot. See like what this whole thing. I'm the kind of person I like to do. I always say this, like I can do hard things. And I say that to my kids, like, you can do hard things. And like I just need to have like crazy, stupid, hard stuff to push.
Well, I think we can stop monopolizing your time tonight. Thanks for joining us, making time for this. I thought it would be really cool to have you come in and share about prep, because people hear so many stories of like how horrible it is and how brutal it is and all the things you can't eat and you can't do. And that's not the case. Not when you do it right.
It's not. And I'll just to add on to that, like I'm in a couple of these like first time groups because it's good just to like follow conversation, understand what other people are going through. You see a lot of people doing it wrong.
Oh yeah.
And it's so scary. I'm like, my lowest calories were 1750.
Right.
I'm like, that's in like by like 11 o'clock, I'm at 900 calories. Like, what are you doing? That's bad. So I'm thankful for you in just being such an amazing, knowledgeable coach and taking the time to build me up.
Oh yeah.
To then be able to drop to not be to where I'm like dying.
Right. Absolutely. No, I would hate to do that to anyone. It's bad coaching. It's bad education on our part. And it's not responsible. Just because a client comes in and they're like, I want to do this show, does not mean that we must coach them to do that show if we think it's really not in their best interest. And that is a piece that is missing for a lot of coaches.
I think that they're just out to make money. So I really think it is.
Yeah. I've always said I don't have the best business model, but I don't really care because what we do actually helps people.
You have healthy clients. That's what you have.
I have healthy clients. Yes, I do.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. This was fun and I appreciate you asking me. And then I appreciate you for just being such an amazing coach through the whole thing.
Well, you're welcome. I appreciate you. You did absolutely amazing. Your consistency was outstanding. You're so dedicated to everything. You asked millions of good questions, and I think it was just a wonderful experience.
To the next one, Clarissa.
Right.